All right, Sean Ray here with the 8-time Mr. Olympia, Big Ronnie Coleman. Moments after the Toronto Pro Championships, where we saw Craig Richardson walk off with, I believe, $10,000 in an Olympia qualification spot. He qualified also 3 weeks ago in New York. Lionel Biecki predictably was right there neck and neck, got second place. And Brandon Curry, he's making his way to the Mr. Olympia, actually former USA champion. What did you make of Craig Richardson tonight?
Craig, he looked real good. He was sharp. He had striated glutes. He had great hamstring tie-in with his glutes. His chest was shredded. His arms were shredded. He looked real good.
Yeah, it seemed there was really nothing to criticize him about. In New York, he needed a little bit more detail and was battling it out with some of the heavier guys, the Kai Green and those guys. But he said moments ago, you don't have to be a 300-pound giant. And tonight he beat much bigger competitors.
No, that's because great conditioning always wins out over great shape. I mean, great mass if you're not in condition.
Well, speaking of a big guy, Lionel Biecki is no slouch. I mean, if this guy dials it in, he could be deadly. He was just a little bit water under the skin.
A little bit, yeah, just a little bit. That's what Craig had on. He had that great conditioning, and that's how he beat him.
Yeah, and what about Flex Wheeler's soul brother _1, Brandon Curry? This is a guy, a former USA overall champion, has now found his way going back to Mr. Olympia for the first time, I believe.
Yeah, Brandon Curry, he has probably the best shape of all the guys up there besides the second place guy. But if he gets his condition together, he'd be just a bigger threat as the rest of the guys.
Yeah, and we saw Canada's own Frank McGrath coming back from the brink of death. Came up here and got fourth place, a whisker away from qualifying for the Olympia, had some surgery. In fourth place, Robert Pietrowski from the Polish guy. I mean, he's good. He's a little upper body heavy.
He looked good. He looked good. He was in shape. He had good separation and good definition. Everything looked good on him, too. So this was a good show. Yeah,
overall, bringing this competition back to Toronto, they did a very good job. Ron Hache and Jim Morris. Did you have a good weekend at the Expo as well?
Oh, I had a great weekend at the Expo. I'm already looking forward to next year.
We're setting the stage for the 46th annual Joe Weider Mr. Olympia in Las Vegas, but we're going to go from here in Toronto 1 week from now in Tampa Bay, where we have the Pro Bodybuilding Weekly Championships, and then we'll move into Connecticut for the Europa Championships there, wind up in Dallas out there by you at the Europa Championships in Dallas. Then they're going to wind up going on to Arizona, Tijuana, and ultimately the 46th annual Joe Weider Mr. Olympia Championships, where it's getting pretty thick. You got any predictions for that show?
I don't have no predictions at all. All I can say is probably going to be pretty much the way it was last year.
Right on. Well, tonight belongs to Craig Richardson from Paterson, New Jersey, the victor here tonight, vanquishing the competition. And, of course, Lionel Biecki has found his way to the Olympia, and Brandon Curry for the first time. For Big Ronnie Coleman, I'm Sean Ray, MuscularDevelopment.com. All right, moments after the 2011 Toronto Pro Championships, 6-time Mr. Olympia, Dorian Yates joins me here. Dorian, professional bodybuilding is back in Toronto.
Yeah, that's great. And we got the show and the expo, so there's a lot of stuff for people to see, and the fans seem really enthusiastic all weekend, so I've enjoyed it, and I hope it's going to keep coming back, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too far for you to travel, but still very popular. A lot of people came out here to support this competition, and you saw Craig Richardson walk off with the Toronto Pro Championships. They haven't had pro bodybuilding here in quite some time. What did you make of Craig?
I thought he was looking great, in great shape. Yeah.
I think Ronnie Coleman said it best. He said a guy that's in shape can beat a bigger guy. Like Lionel was bigger, but he just wasn't as crisp.
Yeah, that guy showed great potential, but probably another 7 or 8 pounds down, it would have been on the money. But there's a new name up and coming, which is exciting. That's what we need. We need new guys coming in.
That's how we keep the business alive. Well, Dorian, I'm going to bring in a couple of other competitors. What's next for you, real quick?
I'm going back to England for a couple of weeks rest because I've been on the road hard, and I will be back in the States for a Branch of Orange show on July 16. So I'll be there at the show and doing a seminar as well on some hog hunting. So
right on. We'll catch you out in Texas, my man. Thanks for coming out. That's King Dorian Yates. Let's bring in Ronnie Rambod, the pro trainer. Is it pro trainer or pro creator?
Depends on the
it's just Hani.
It just depends on the week.
Hani, we go through that all the time, man. You were working with our boy Lionel Biecki here, and he was very close to winning. He lost to a guy that was a little bit better conditioned.
Absolutely. Lionel had a lot of issues with trying to get back into that shape that he was in New York. I think he was a good 10% off of that, but I think it's just he's never done really back-to-back shows, and it's one of those things where
coming back from France, I mean, he's going to start having to think about whether he wants to come out here and stay, exactly, come to where the business is at. But I think that he was able to show that he is dominant. He's got lots of size, great roundness. He just has to do that extra mile. It's the cardio, it's the diet, it's that all those little things that are going to bring out that thin skin. Well, 3 shows, 2 Olympia qualifications for Lionel Biecki. He is on his way up. with the help of Ronnie Rambod. Thanks a lot, buddy. We'll catch up with you in a little bit. Let's bring in Big Frank McGrath, back from death is what I understand.
Pretty close, yeah.
Tell us about that return, man. You didn't seem to shock a whole lot of people here. I mean, you came out of, a lot of people didn't think you were going to compete.
Well, like a lot of people heard about, my accident and stuff like that. And I had a lot of doctors and stuff tell me, you'll never compete again and stuff like that. But, I just want to prove everybody wrong. A lot of people didn't believe me and stuff like that, so I just wanted to come out and prove people wrong, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you did.
Yeah.
You did. You were one spot away from almost getting to the Olympia. Where will you go now? What's next?
Next week, Tampa, for sure. Okay. Yeah, definitely going to try to get that top 3 spot for sure.
Any residual effects from the accident? I mean, you had a lot to overcome. It's got to feel good to get this first one out of the way.
I mean, it's only been about a year, and it was a kind of last-minute thing. The show was,
You're always a last-minute thing.
Yeah, no, last-minute everything.
Consistent.
But no, it was last-minute thing, and, working with Hani and stuff like that, it really made a big change in my physique things, little details that I've never really knew as a professional athlete that I wasn't taking serious, right?
Right on. Well, you've actually served notice, and you're serious enough that you're going to head all the way to Tampa, Florida, where potentially you could wind up going to the Olympia. Would you go if you qualify?
I know a lot of people say, wait till I'm bigger, wait till this. I really think I'll do it.
You get the shot. You take it.
I think I would. I really do.
Right on. Well, you learn to live a little bit more when you get that close to death.
When you lose a lot, you realize how important it is and how precious life is and stuff, right?
Right on. Well, welcome back to the land of the living, man. We'll see you in Tampa, Florida, in a week from now. All right, that's Frank McGrath. I didn't know you were working with him, Hani. Let's bring in Big George. We're going to catch you in Tampa. Big George Farah, really quick, get your summation on the champion. You worked with that guy, Craig Richardson. You were with him for a while. This guy seemed to bring it all together on the night that was most important for victory. We actually saw him coming in New York City.
Yes, we did, man. Craig is like really, really hard-working guy, and it's so good that finally he have somebody like Jason in his corner. You know what I mean? I'm just there, man. Like I always say, these guys do their work. They work hard. I'm just there, just being a little bit of that knowledge, you know what I'm saying?
I was with you almost a year ago in Sacramento when we were sitting there eating steak with Craig, and he came up short there, and he's the victor here. Is this the guy that's going to go on to the Olympia now that he's qualified again?
Definitely, yeah. He's got to go to Olympia, and I think I can see him, man, battling in that first call-up because he really have the shape, the symmetry, and everything. He repeat that condition is going to be awesome. And I really would like to bring one of, very inspirational guys on his team as his training partner. Come here, Harley. Harley's been there, man, every day. This guy, day and day, he's an attorney, so don't let him fool you with that haircut and stuff. Harley, how was it, man, like being with the champ?
Well, I've been with Craig 13 years. I think that's the longest team in the history of bodybuilding. We've been training together 13 years, and it's been a real pleasure for me and a privilege, but the only reason it works is because Craig is even a better person than he is a bodybuilder.
3 kids at home, a husband and a father, a former national champion. It takes a lot to get the pro victory. In my entire career, I won 2 shows. Craig finally got his. What's going to happen with this team going into the Olympia? Do you take it up to the next level?
I think we do take it up to the next level. I think now that Craig will get a fair shake, more of a fair shake, I should say, people won't overlook him as readily. He is a smaller guy, that's true, but as you proved throughout your career, Sean, it's not just mass, it's mass with class. And Craig has both those things, and you're one of the inspirations for him. He's always mentioned you throughout the entire 13 years I've been with him, so we're looking forward to the Olympia once again.
Right on. We'll see him at the Mr. Olympia contest. Let's bring in the promoter. Thanks a lot. We're going to catch up with you guys in Las Vegas. Big Ron Hache. Once again, brother, I mean, we are almost to the finish line once we crack that cold beer up and pour it down. What did you make of the weekend? It had to be satisfying to get it all over with.
Well, it was the inaugural, so everybody was skeptical, everybody was a little nervous, but I'll tell you what, the feedback that I'm getting was total success, and we're really looking forward to the future.
It seemed not only the athletes that showed up, but also the fans as well. It's a long night. We had amateurs, we had fitness, we had everything thrown into this that you can, including 2 Mr. Olympias, Hall of Famers, Rich Gaspari. I mean, what can you add to this weekend to make it any more special than what it is?
I really don't know. I think this weekend was now I really got to top it off next year. So now that's the challenge, and next year we're going to do something even more special. So for those that came this year, they were excited to be here and really enjoyed it. Next year will even be better.
Right on. Well, I know it's late, I know you're tired, but you know what? You're the last man standing. We had a great turnout, great support from all of our athletes, not only the magazines, but the sponsors as well. Had Junior Fitness representing up here. Great job, Ron. We hope to see you next year again.
Thank you very much, and hope to have you back here also.
No doubt. For Big Ron Hachey in Toronto, Canada, the eve of Father's Day, we're headed home. I'm Sean Ray, MuscularDevelopment.com.